Hello, family. Welcome back to the Ebony Odyssey. My name is Jermaine Long, and I am a servant of the Most High God. I really appreciate you coming along, and as always, enjoy the journey. Today, I just have a couple of thoughts on my mind as I'm reading this morning, and I want to share them with you. I can't get out of this apocrypha, guys. I'm reading through it, and I'm just enjoying the time that I have with God in the morning. I read over, and then I reread, and then I just let whatever God is speaking to me through these scriptures meditate, and I try to put something out that maybe you haven't heard, or just my perspective on something you have heard. So without further ado, I'll get into it today. That I'm still reading, and I'm reading about Isaac and his father Abraham, of course. And as Abraham has sent his servant Eliezer to go look for him a wife from the land of his fathers. And I'm understanding this story because of Lot and his daughters who slept with him, who had children, of a sinful type nature because of that. He Abraham didn't want none of those women for his son. And so he sent them all the way back to the land of his father, and looking at it and trying to understand the life of Isaac at this point, where he had went, I guess, to seminary school. It would be something like that, to learn about the ways of God. He was a man of 40 years old. He had been working. He had come into his own. He had enough of wealth to take care of himself and a wife, and this young lady that he had as bride was named Rebecca. And I know the story that I read in the Bible. It talks about Rebecca gave water to Eliezer to feed his camels, but in the Apocrypha it doesn't say that. It just says that he had went to the home of Rebecca because of the lineage of his father's house, and she came with him. And at this time, I know this sounds crazy, but Rebecca was 10 and Isaac was 40. Now, I think about like a lot of stuff that goes on today, and I definitely don't condone a 10-year-old marrying a 40-year-old. But I know once a man reaches a certain point that he is financially capable to build and to care for a family the way that he should have, uh, and he has the opportunity and means to meet a younger lady and marry and have children. I know some people look down on it, some people don't care, and some people are indifferent. But for me, I understand that point, because now you have the means to take care of a family. You have the means to, love and care for your wife. And as well, your wife should love and care for you at this time. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but at 40 years old, this man, has this 10-year-old child. But the thing that stood out is, he was a man now of means, and she was a virgin, because that's exactly what it says in here. By the time, some of these girls nowadays are 10 years old, they've been with 10 men. So at 40 years old, that's 40 men. So I'm just saying to say this, it is something to say about the innocence and I won't lie, the virginity of a young lady that is appealing to a man, and especially a man that, you would want to build a family with. One man wouldn't want to get to 40 years old and have a woman that has been with 40 different people, and maybe vice versa. A woman wants a man that has been with 40 different women. But at the same time, everybody wants somebody with experience. And experience is not necessary. Experience is something that within this family unit should be built upon the time being together. And I'm just old. I don't have no understanding of the world. And that's a good thing because I have an understanding of this Bible. And I'm hoping that you understand the concept that I'm putting forward. Yeah, it may be past time for me, but it's not past time for my children and the women that my children will marry. And this is one of the big things that I thought about when coming here. You know, no, the West is not here yet, but you see the West ways. Here, you do see young ladies getting married very early. Like right out of school, these young ladies are married. You know, some of them. And I look at my young men, and I know that at a certain point, it will be great for them because, you know, if they are to marry one of these young ladies right out of school, and my kids are still school age, you know, and they are able to take care and provide financially for this family, and they are, you know, men of character and finding a woman of character, it will be a blessing for them because I'm hoping that they don't have too many experiences before marriage. Because my youngest son had a conversation the other day, and I told him that, you know, sex is a hell of a drug. It is, it will take you on the wildest ride and you will want it for the rest of your life. It is a drug that you can never get off of. And once you have it, you know, it will always be a thought in your mind. And you know, he's young, he's hitting on 14, and you know, he just started smiling and laughing because guess what? The world is all around us. So I'm sure in some movie he saw a scene, in some anime he saw a scene, in some TikTok he saw a scene. You know, it's plenty of scenes out there, and I try to curb my kids' gaze away from porn, away from you know, things of murder, death, and violence. But it's hard in these days to keep our kids away from those type of things. But you know, I'm as I'm reading this in chapter 24, and I'm sorry I could have given y'all some scripture, but it's chapter 24 of the book of Jasher, and I'll put that in the title. But you know, it's just reading through there and trying to get an understanding and figuring out, you know, when, you know, these people that we have learned about over our course of studying about God, about Jesus, about Yahweh, about Isa, about the Most High. When we learn all of these things, how do we put that into context for our daily life? And looking at this and reading this story right now, it allows me to understand exactly how, you know, Isaac was reared to conduct himself and then to marry and then be able to provide. Because the hardest thing in marriage is not being able to provide for a family. You know, it's a huge responsibility that both men and women share, but men, you know, majority of the way of thinking, men are supposed to provide that stability, that income, those resources, and seeing how this young man or Isaac, he was reared up to learn about God, to have the things that he have, and then his wife was chose for him. And it didn't say that Eliezer went and he found the girl with the big butt or the big breasts or the beautiful face. No, 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 no. He went and found a person from a certain household, and that was the reason that he chose her. Because it says she looked comely. And Sarah, we know at 90, was still having to hide when she went from city to city. You know, it didn't say nothing about Rebecca having to hide going from city to city because of her beauty, which would, you know, additionally cause additional pain and struggle for Abraham, but God has always blessed him and kept him upright and allowed him to, get his wife back without any drama or any trouble. So yeah, family, that was my reading this morning. I hope that you understand where I'm coming from, and just the whole point of, you know, I don't know if you have kids, but me, I have these two young men. The whole point of having them be stable, and secure in order to, when they make that step, be able to care for that family. Because the hardest thing is to care for the family. The hardest thing is to provide for the family. And as fathers, as mothers, we have to prepare our kids in that fashion so that they're able to be adults, so that they're able to step up to the challenge, because nobody wants their grandkids, in a bad situation. Not only your kids, but the lineage of your family. Do you want them in a bad situation because you have not trained up your children or selected or helped them select the correct, mate, which would be a compliment to them instead of a danger to them? Picking somebody of virgin quality. It's maybe hard this day, but it is still some out there. Picking someone of virgin quality and picking a husband of significant, or not significant, but means to care for your daughter. I mean, it's, we would say we don't get a choice, but we get a choice in everything else in their life. So gearing them toward these things only seems right. But hey, family, I appreciate you for listening. And as always, enjoy the journey.